Good morning, everyone, and thank you for choosing Market Briefing, market analysis, and financial news. Every day, our goal is to provide you with a thorough and knowledgeable analysis of the most relevant financial news to help you navigate the complex economic landscape. Let's begin our daily review. Market Analysis, November 10, 2023. Here is a 973-word original script for a YouTube video summarizing the key points from the provided news article. Global stocks pulled back on Thursday following a warning from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell that interest rates may need to be raised higher to tame inflation. The Stoxx Europe 600 index declined 0.6%, pressured by disappointing corporate earnings reports. Shares of beverage giant Diageo sank over 8% after the company unexpectedly cut its sales outlook. Luxury retailer Richemont saw its stock tumble as much as 6% following a surprise drop in quarterly earnings. However, energy shares outperformed as oil prices rose for the second straight day. The WTI crude benchmark gained ground to trade above $86 per barrel. In the U.S., Nasdaq 100 futures pointed to a lower open, shedding 0.2%. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note held steady at around 4.63% after surging the prior day. Investors were spooked following Powell's remarks indicating the Fed is prepared to continue raising rates aggressively if required. Sentiment was further dampened by weak demand at an auction of 30-year Treasury bonds. This renewed concerns that investors may struggle to absorb swelling government debt issuance going forward. Powell stated officials will proceed carefully but won't hesitate to tighten policy further if needed to control inflation. His comments overturned market expectations that rates were close to peaking. In reaction, strategists noted the consensus that the 10-year Treasury yield had topped out for the year has now shifted. As a result, risk assets that had rallied in recent weeks are being reassessed. In currency markets, the British pound slipped, giving up modest gains that followed UK data showing the economy is likely to avoid a recession this year. Sterling has fallen over 1% against the US dollar this week after the Bank of England signaled no more rate hikes are imminent. Looking ahead, traders are awaiting remarks from European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde later Thursday. Comments are also due from Federal Reserve Regional Presidents Lori Logan of Dallas and Raphael Bostic of Atlanta. In stocks, digital ad firm Trade Desk plunged 27% in pre-market trading after issuing disappointing guidance blamed on broader economic headwinds. Meanwhile, a cyberattack impacted the U.S. operations of Chinese bank ICBC, leaving it unable to process many treasury bond transactions. Entities responsible for settling the trades quickly disconnected from the affected systems. Before proceeding with our analysis, we would like to remind you that your support is very important to us. If you enjoy this video and find our content helpful and engaging, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. This helps us grow and provide you with even more quality content. Now, let's get back to the news on the financial markets and the latest updates. Here is a 985-word script for your YouTube channel Market Briefing, market analysis and financial news based on the provided information. The U.S. dollar held firm on Friday following hawkish remarks from Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Speaking at an IMF panel, Powell stated that the Fed is not yet confident it has achieved a sufficiently restrictive policy stance to bring inflation down over time. His comments drove the 10-year Treasury yield up nearly 3% to over 4.6%, supporting dollar strength. On the week, the greenback saw broad gains against other major currencies. The dollar rose 0.63% against the euro, 1.21% versus the British pound, 1.01% against the Canadian dollar, and 1.28% over the Japanese yen. The Australian dollar was hit the hardest, falling 2.39% against the US dollar this week. UK economic data was mixed on Friday. GDP grew 0.6% annually in Q3, matching Q2 and beating forecasts of 0.5% growth. However, business investment contracted 4.2% quarterly while industrial and manufacturing production rose 1.5% and 3% yearly in September. The pound showed little reaction to the news, trading sideways above 1.2200 against the dollar. The euro climbed to over 1.0720 against the dollar on Thursday before retreating below 1.0700. On Friday, it continued trading in a tight range just above 1.0650. Meanwhile, the dollar-yen rate spent Friday Asian trading fluctuating under 151.50. It closed higher for a fourth straight day on Thursday. In a policy statement, the Reserve Bank of Australia noted inflation has likely peaked but more tightening may be needed to ensure it returns to target. The Australian dollar saw little reaction, holding steady around 0.6350 versus the US dollar. Gold rebounded from a multi-week low under $1,950 on Thursday, climbing back above $1,960. However, rising Treasury yields made it difficult for the precious metal to maintain gains, causing it to fall back below $1,960. The dollar's haven status remains in force as recession concerns swirl. Meanwhile, stocks are struggling with the specter of reduced earnings. Further dollar strength seems likely barring a dovish pivot from the Fed or indications inflation is on a clear downward trajectory. Still, unpredictable market swings can be expected as investors weigh mixed economic signals. Key events this week. ECB President Christine Lagarde participates in Fireside Chat, Friday. U.S. University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment, Friday. Dallas Fed President Lori Logan and her Atlanta counterpart Raphael Bostic speak, Friday. Some of the main moves in markets. Stocks. The Stoxx Europe 600 fell 0.8% as of 9:49 a.m. London time. S&P 500 futures were little changed. Nasdaq 100 futures fell 0.1%. Futures on the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.1%. The MSCI Asia Pacific Index fell 0.9%. The MSCI Emerging Markets Index fell 0.9%. Currencies. The Bloomberg Dollar Spot Index was little changed. The euro rose 0.1% to $1.0679. The Japanese yen was little changed at 151.42 per dollar. The offshore yuan was little changed at 7.3003 per dollar. The British pound was little changed at $1.2222. Cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin was little changed at $36,529.88. Ether rose 2% to $2,100.40. Bonds. The yield on 10-year treasuries was little changed at 4.63%. Germany's 10-year yield advanced 7 basis points to 2.72%. Britain's 10-year yield advanced 6 basis points to 4.33%. Commodities. Brent crude rose 1% to $80.80 a barrel. Spot gold fell 0.2% to $1,954.96 an ounce. In conclusion, we'd like to thank you for watching Market Briefing, market analysis, and financial news. If you enjoyed our insights and found the information helpful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to our channel to stay updated with future analyses. Thank you again for your support, and we'll see you soon with more interesting news. Remember, the information in this video is purely informational and does not constitute investment advice. Always consult with a professional before making financial decisions.